how I did it. On day one, I worked in black and white, covering the garage in white gesso, and sketching in my design with black paint. I started with a rough sketch, and then refined it as I went, constantly walking back and forth to check my work. As I'm finishing my first day of work, I'll show you the design that I was originally working from. This is a small watercolor sketch I made. And here it is projected onto the garage door and extended into the distance, introducing atmospheric perspective, which I'll work on more on day 2. At the beginning of day 2, I started in on these distant trees, defining their structure by painting the branches first. I'm going to continue working on these trees, but I need them to dry fully before I do, so I'm going to work on other areas of the garage, refining the composition of these trees. Part of this refinement is erasing areas that I don't want, which I do with white gesso. Now that this section is dry, I can go back in with white gesso and paint out any areas that I don't want, starting with the black that I used initially to mask this area in. My goal for this day was to have a grayscale rendering of the entire composition, so that tomorrow I can begin with color. But first I need to complete the rendering of the middle tree by sketching in some leaves. Now I'll begin massing in the ultramarine blue of this body of water, and then extending this same blue in a lighter tone up into the sky, all the while overlapping the trees that I've already painted in order to increase the sense of atmospheric perspective. As I move upward, I introduce phthalo blue, a clearer, cleaner, greener blue. And moving into the top panel, I mix phthalo green with the blue. I apply it with a lot of water and medium, and then wipe it away to give it a very distant and transparent effect. now I'm going to emphasize the atmospheric perspective on this middle tree by scumbling over it with a transparent blue-gray. On day 4, my work is almost done, but I need to refine certain things, most particularly this grouping of trees in the background. When I scumbled over them with light blue, they became more obscured, which was my intention, but it went too far, and I need to redefine the shapes of the foreground tree in order to emphasize the fact that it's overlapping the background tree. I also added stars on day 4. I did this with the wooden end of a paintbrush, dipping it into white gesso and dotting in the stars wherever I wanted them. Painting is now finished, but I need to wait for it to completely dry before I add the acrylic sealer on top. And for this I'm using Krylon Matte Finish acrylic sealer. I'm moving my hand across very quickly in order to produce a very light coat. And once that's dry, I go over it again with another light coat. Here is the completed mural. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. This is only the second mural I've ever painted, and it's the first one I ever painted in acrylic paint. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and were inspired to go create your own paintings. If you aren't subscribed yet, I'd love it if you'd do so. And if you'd like to see more of my art, you can follow me at Sandberg Art on Instagram. Thanks again. Bye-bye.